Hello.
Hi guys.
We are so stinking excited. Hopefully some people jump on.
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure that our live is going.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do is
I know,
on.
right? It's nerve-wracking. Hi.
Yep, we are live. We are officially live.
Hi, Angie.
Is she our winner?
Yes. Okay, guys. So, welcome to Crime Obsessed. My name is Allie Heyer, and I'm your host.
I'm Nicole Wolf. I'm your other host. Tonight, Allie is gonna show us who she's doing.
Okay, so we threw some clues out there for you guys during the week about who you guys thought that we were going to be working on this week. And we decided to do our first local, which is Francis Donald Nemechek. Okay, so my reason for picking him, I actually have two reasons for picking him. My first reason is because he is like the first one that I really heard about because he literally was a local to us. And two, we wanted to start our first one off with somebody that we knew a lot about and that was local for us. So we're so excited to start, you guys. Bear with us because, like I said, this is number one for us.
Yes.
So this is a learning thing for us, and we hope that a lot of you will give us feedback on how you thought we did and help us learn from here as we try to figure things out. Like we kind of said in our welcome video, each week we will give clues, and each week one of us will be the one. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
One of us will be the one who talks about him. So like today, this week is my week. Next week will be Nicole's week.
I've got a good one picked out too.
Yeah, she has a really good one picked out. And so make sure that you're watching out for clues. And then also when we are done with this, we are super excited. We've worked really hard this week on getting our website active as well.
Worked super hard getting our website.
It was so difficult.
Tell them about the website. It has such a cool
option
there.
So our website is like so cool. I'm going to pull it up right now on my laptop. It is, I forgot. 19. Crime Obsessed is taken everywhere else. Ugh. Okay, so our website is like so cool. So it's crimeobsessed19.com. And it has like our little intro at the beginning, and then it has a tab that says About Us. And Nicole and I both wrote our own little paragraph about us, like kind of like who we are and what our, hi Clint, Clinton Caps.
Hey Clinton.
And why we like to do this like crime stuff. And then also there's a tab that says where to find us. And it has our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, and our YouTube. Now, YouTube, we are still working on getting things kind of figured out on that end, because YouTube will be like a video of us that we pre-record. Like right now, we'll save this video and it'll be pre-recorded. Mm-hmm. And then it'll have like our intro music and like have an intro and everything like that. It'll be so cool. But we will have that up and going very soon. And then the last tab,
which I'm super excited about,
is Suggest a Case. So all you have to do is put your...
Emily and Clint. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Em.
How are you doing? My Emily.
So the first thing says name, and then it says email, and then it says type of case. Like, is it a murder? Is it a serial killer? Is it a missing person? Anything like that. And then you just type in the case and why you feel like you want it, like why you want us to go over this case. It's going to be really cool. And then you just submit it, and it comes to our email. And then eventually we will be having merchandise. We teamed up with a local gal here, and she does an amazing job with merch, and so we're so excited to start with her.
Yes, I'm ready for my coffee cup.
I know. We're going to get coffee cups. We right now have I have Starbucks. She has regular coffee. And we're going to have different shirts with different sayings. Yes. My favorite one right now is I'm obsessed with food and serial killers. So those are shirts that we're going to get made shortly. So there's going to be several different items available there. Also, we just kind of have to work out the kinks. So yes, make sure you go to our page. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we have some watchers, so let's get started. Okay.
All right,
So-
tell me about Francis. I tried so hard not to look him up.
It's hard, though.
Even though I live on the other side of Castle Rock, we never heard of him. So, tell
You
us
didn't?
No.
Wow, okay. So, how I first heard about Francis Nemechek was my grandparents. So, we spent a lot of our time out at Cedar Bluff as kids. Like, we camped out there every weekend. Hi, Marcia.
Hey.
That's my cousin. She just had a little baby. He's so cute. And so I learned about him from my grandparents. We used to go out to Cedar Bluff all the time. My grandpa actually used to have a house out at Cedar Bluff.
Really?
And and so it's really cool how crazy it is, how close to home. It's not cool, but it's crazy how close to home this was for our town, our community. It's hey from the NICU. Hi Hudson, sweet baby boy. He was born early and small, but he's so cute. He's doing good. Okay, so so my family is from Waukene. I have a lot of family in Waukene. And in fact, I actually have an aunt that waited on one of his victims. So she actually had to go through questioning with the cops. So it's crazy. So let's jump in. So Donald Nemechek, I don't know if you guys know who he is. His date of birth was June 29th of 1950, and his number of victims was 5, and his choice of, I guess like his characteristics or like his choice, he did abductions and he raped, and then he killed them, and so there's the first one is like so hard because it involves a little boy, and it's so weird because if you think about it, he really only killed 4 people, but when I tell you about the first ones, you realize that technically he did have 5 victims, but he only killed 4. So, like I said, we'll talk more about that. His method of choice, yes, there we go. Thank you, Marcia. See, we're learning. And so, in the locations of his murders were in Trigo and Graham County, and he was sentenced to life in prison on March 7th of 1977. And we will go into more about his parole and all that kind of stuff, but I just really want to jump right into his first victims. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, so his first victim, which this just makes me so sad. So, Donald was on interstate, and he seen a car traveling on I-70 west of Hayes, and he shot out their tire, and then he went up to the vehicle, and when he went up to the vehicle, the women have gotten out. So it was 2 women and a little 3-year-old boy. Their names were Cheryl Young, 21. Her son, his name was Guy, and he was 3. Yep. And then her friend, Diane Levette. So we have the 3 up there. So those were the first 3 that were his victims. And so is what happened. Like I said, he was on interstate. He shot their tire out. And the lady pulled over and got out of her vehicle and kind of tried to see what was going on. And
so was he on an overpass, and that's how he shot up?
It's so, hold on, let me grab this notebook here of mine, because I wrote a lot of stuff in here as well. He was on, I think he was on the side of an overpass when I remember right. Yeah, he shot out their tire on I-70 near Ogalla, which is actually only 30 miles from Quinner. And so when I read that, I was like, well, why did he do it? I kind of wanted to know why. Why did he choose to do that? So I went back, and on December 13th, 1974, age 24, he had just argued with his ex-wife. So he was divorced, and he had a son, and him and his ex-wife were arguing about visitations with his son, Kyle. The couple had divorced that summer after just 2 years of marriage. And Cheryl Young, 21, was separated from her husband. Diane Lovett, 19, was Cheryl's best friend. And Guy Young, son of Cheryl, was just 2 years and 10 months. So he wasn't even 3 years old yet. And they had been visiting relatives in Colorado and were driving to Iowa, where Diana was from. So Diana, Cheryl's friend, was from. And so Nemechek saw this vehicle at night, shot out their tire, and authorities really weren't positive of what kind of happened next, but what the KBI published in 1990, they believed that the women saw Nemechek approaching the vehicle and got back into the vehicle, rolled up the window, and locked it. And Nemechek knocked on the window and was trying to help them, and they refused because they didn't know what to do. They were terrified. It's the dead of night, 2 women and a little boy. They're terrified. They don't know what to do. So they believe that they upset Nemechek. By not letting him help. And so Nemechek went back to his truck and he got a shotgun. He then returned and forced the women to go with him, and one of the women carried the little boy with a blanket. So then Nemechek drove his victims to a 2-story stone farmhouse. Hi, Emily, which you can see right here. It's like this little old abandoned farmhouse here. And it was vacant. The house was rarely ever used. There was a dead-end road, about 15 miles north of I-70, which is about 15 miles northeast of Waukene. So it really wasn't that far away. It was a very secluded area in Graham County. Officers had said the route to the house was more of a kind of more of a path rather than a road. It really wasn't a road. It was more of a dirt path. And Nemechek was very familiar with this area because he had worked for the landowners.
Really?
So he kind of knew where to take them. And so then Nemechek took the women up the staircase to the 2nd floor. And he ended up raping one of them. The authorities at the time weren't sure if he had raped both, but he did rape one of them and then killed them both with shotgun or with bullets with a gun. And then the little boy Guy had wandered off and was later found outside, froze to death. So that's kind of why I say that he really only killed the 2 women, but he abandoned the little boy, and the little boy wandered off.
Yeah.
And froze to death. So those were his first 2 victims, and I think that...
What were they found?
I'm trying to see here what they said. Apparently throughout it doesn't ever tell you how they were found. No. I want to assume that it had something to possibly do with they noticed the abandoned car, and then I'm wondering if because he had used to work for the landowner, I wonder if the landowner didn't
put two and two together.
Yeah. See, that was the hardest thing. I really struggled researching him because basically all they really have on him is the victims. It doesn't really have his childhood. It doesn't really have they weren't discovered, I believe, until the last victim. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's correct. Like I said, like literally there's only like one place that you can really find a lot of his information on him. And that's what I really struggled with this was I had a hard time finding like what really like, I know what happened because he confessed to what happened, but how they found him and everything like that was a little harder. And so those were his first 3 victims. And then the fourth one, which is Carla Baker, which is right there. And let me get to my notes here and make sure that I have the one where he talked about. Okay. So, since Nemechek's divorce, his father said that Nemechek had done a little bit of work in a welding shop, fishing, drinking beer, and hunting coyotes. And so he did a lot of stuff on this.
I may or may not have a huge obsession with serial killers, likely due to my psychology background.
I know. And the hardest thing, though, is...
Yeah. That's where I got mine from.
Yeah, it was so hard to find information on him, like his childhood. Like, I really wanted to know about his childhood, like what drove him to do this. Like,
because like a lot of serial killers do
have a bad childhood or had something like there's like literally they have problems, and that's what I'm struggling with finding. But so this one was a little bit more difficult. Like I know that Nicole's next week has a lot of
it's gonna
insight.
Be a big case.
It's going to be a huge case. And so this one was kind of a smaller one, but it was a good one to start with, I guess. So on the evening of June 30th, 1976, their 20-year-old Carla Baker of Hayes, she went for a bike ride. Baker was a University of Kansas student at home, and she was visiting her parents. Nemechek said in his confession he was outside the truck taking a bathroom break alongside a country road west of Hayes when Baker rode in his direction, and he exposed himself. Meaning, he didn't cover himself up. She scolded Nemechek for doing so, which I would too. I mean, if I'm out riding my bike and some guy is out taking a pee and he flips around and shows me his thing, I would be like, dude, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing that?
But don't do it because he might be a serial killer.
Yeah, don't do it because he may be a serial killer.
Not to say.
Yeah.
Put that on your list of how to survive a serial killer.
It was weird. Oh, right here. I'll have to go back to that. That's my dog coming up the steps. Sorry. I don't think y'all can hear him though. So that pissed him off, obviously. Obviously he has some anger management, I'm kind of gathering from this. Are you?
Yeah.
I mean,
he should have put more milk in his creamer.
I know.
Get that? Come on, guys.
It was so funny. I loved it. So obviously he was like mad because like in the first, like with his first victims, they refused him to help. And so that pissed him off. So he's obviously like, well, screw you. I mean,
he kind of wanted to be like their knight in shining armor.
Yeah, Ryan Wald. I think I read about in Murderpedia. You'll have to check it out. Yeah, that's actually where I got all my information from for him, because that's the only place that had information on him. It was crazy. So yes, Ryan, that's actually what I'm using. And so, like I said, she scolded him, and then he grabbed him, or he grabbed her from her bike. Sorry, my mind is everywhere today. He grabbed her from her bike and forced her inside his truck. Nemechek said he was unarmed as he drove Baker to an isolated area at Cedar Bluff Reservoir and tried to rape her. Which, bringing you back to Cedar Bluff, that is a very local campground, fishing, tubing, riding, doing like everything. Everyone goes out there during the summer. It's like a huge thing for us. It's literally probably 45 minutes from us here. It's south of Waukene. I don't know, probably 20 minutes south of Waukene, you think? I would say about 20 minutes south of Waukene. And that's where I spent a lot of my time during the summers. Like, literally, we spent every weekend out there. And so he tried to rape her, and she kicked him between his legs, and he went to get his knife then at that point because, she was in danger. Like, she knew that she was about to go down. Like, she knew that she didn't have a very good chance at fighting him off, and so she kicked him where she knew would hurt him the most, which
Really
hands down to you,
ticked him
woman,
off.
because I would have too, which obviously ticked him off. He said that he remembers when he was putting the blade into the knife, he remembers calling her Cindy, which was his ex-wife's name. And I thought, you will never do this again. So Baker's father, Dr. Richard Baker, a professional of education at Fort Hays State College in Hays, found her bike early the next morning lying in weeds alongside the country road. Her body remained unaccounted for. So no one knew where her body was. The dad's seen the bike, but that's it. Her body was nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. So obviously when you read that and it says that he remembers calling his wife, or calling her Cindy, his wife's name, you realize that a lot of his anger is being taken out because of his ex-wife.
Which most murderers do
Are.
tend to.
It's because of a female.
Their mother.
It's
most
weird.
serial
It's
killers,
usually mothers.
whenever you listen to a report, it's always about their hatred for their mother, or their hatred, or their needing to be, they're
Loved a
having their
certain way.
mother's approval and doing what they're doing, and that's, for him, it's his ex-wife.
Yeah, it's his ex-wife. Like, he and his ex-wife, and there's more about that, which we'll go through here shortly. I kind of just want to get through the victims first, and then we will kind of...
Yeah, I have a whole list.
Yeah,
I know.
we'll kind of go back and forth. Like I said, I know I'm all over the place. It's our first one, and like I said, this week has been absolutely crazy for us, and so typically I would have everything wrote down on note cards. I would be more focused. I literally had everything started writing on my stuff for, like, in order, and then life happened, and it's been crazy. Okay, so obviously, we've went over the first 3, and then now we're at Carla Baker, and then now we are at our last one, which is actually is related to some people closer around here. I don't want to name who because I don't know how they're related to them, but I do know that it's a relation. And this one is a cheerleader. She was 16 years old. Her name was Paula Fabriches, and she was a cheerleader at Ellis High School. Almost 20 miles east of Waukene and 20 miles north at Cedar Bluff Reservoir was where she was at the time of her abduction. She worked part-time as a rangerette at the reservoir, checking stickers on vehicles. So if you don't know what that means, it just means that she was a rangerette. So when you go out to Cedar Bluff, you have to stop at the main building and you have to get either a day pass or a year pass, whatever you want to do. And if you don't, then you get ticketed. And so she goes around and, checks vehicles, makes sure that people aren't doing things they shouldn't be doing. And so rangerettes, the females, are supposed to actually work in pairs. But due to shortage of employees, that forced Fabriches, Paula, to work alone on Saturday, August 21st, 1976. So that's almost 2 months after his last killing. Exactly almost 2 months after his killing of Carla Baker. So at about 6:30 p.m. that day, a male park ranger briefly left Paula at her post on the south side of the Cedar Bluff to get her some bubble gum. So she asked this male park ranger to go get her some bubble gum. I mean, what a sweetheart to go get her some bubble gum. But to this day, like, her family, I'm sure, just wishes that she would have never asked to do that. Yeah. Because Fabriches was sitting in the car when Nemechek drove up to talk. He later said in a confession that he snapped open her car door, grabbed for Bridges, and pulled her out. Nemechek took the girl in his truck to a machine shed on land owned by his father near a historic Castle Rock. Now, Castle Rock, hi Katie.
Hi Katie.
Castle Rock is a very historic point or place for Gulf County. It's about 20 miles.
Yeah, give or take 20-30 miles. Yeah,
20-30 miles south of Quinter, and it's historic. Like our road is Castle Rock Road. Like we have a lot of we have Castle Rock classics. Like it's such a historical point for us, and we actually have signs, and people go out there all the time just to look at it, and it's fun. You go out there and climb. We were just out there the other day, actually.
Taking our pictures.
We took our pictures out there, and we seen a snake. So.
Yeah, they see a rattlesnake. We'll get back to that story.
We were like, deuces! So he took her to a machine shed on land that his dad owned by Castle Rock. It was a sandstone formation that rises above the western plains at Quinter, almost 30 miles northwest of where she was abducted. So, like I said, we live in Quinter. We're from Quinter. And so Castle Rock is very, very known to us. She was locked. The shed was locked, so he took her to an area near Castle Rock and he raped her. So unfortunately, his dad had locked his shed, so he couldn't get in there to do anything. So instead, he took her to Castle Rock, where there's so many different places.
There's tons of them.
You can get in places, and I'm literally always scared that when I'm out there that I'm going to be climbing and I'm going to get into a cave and there's going to be something or someone in there.
Oh, I know.
It's my fear because
it's very scary.
Anything could happen. Yes. So, he took her in there and raped her. Like I said, this was his thing. He just wanted to rape these women, unfortunately.
I wonder if he got into another fight with his wife.
His ex-wife?
Yeah, his ex-wife.
I know.
Because it seems like that's what
it seems like every time. Yeah, it's a trigger. His ex-wife is a trigger to a T. I want to know what happened in their relationship. And that's one thing that I'm really frustrated about. I want to know what happened in their relationship because I want to know what caused, and I want to know what was he like.
Yeah.
Was he abusive? Did he have issues? I just wanted to, maybe she didn't have sex with him. Maybe she didn't, obviously she did because they had a son, but I'm just curious as to why they divorced and what he was like. I want to know what he was like in the marriage. Anyways, and so afterwards, Nemechek said that Bridges insisted that her dad would get him for what he had done, then hit him with a rock. Obviously, she didn't hit him hard enough. Nemechek stabbed her at least 8 times with a hunting knife, cut her hands as she sought to defend herself. The fatal wound pierced her heart. An autopsy showed Bridges was stabbed in the groin area after she died. Nemechek threw her nude body off a 5-foot bluff. So when I say bluff, I wish we had pictures of Castle Rock.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of our people will be.
Look it up on your phone. Go to Google and look up Castle Rock. I bet you it would pull up. And so get this, guys. This is when things get weird. So that night, a group of people searched the area at Cedar Bluff Reservoir trying to find Paula. One searcher was Francis Nemechek himself. And they didn't find her. Why wouldn't they? Why would you go with them to find, that blows my mind.
I'm trying to get, okay, so this is what we're looking at here. I'm trying to get my phone.
Yeah.
That's Castle Rock. Look at all those nooks and crannies.
So he threw her off of one of those bluffs. What bluff? We are not sure which bluff it was. There's so many out there.
There's tons.
But whenever I go out there, I always picture which one it is. I do. I'm not even kidding you. Every time I go out there, I'm like, was it this one? Was it that one?
There's a little cave in one of those bluffs, and I'm just like, was this the spot?
I know. You wonder.
Yep. I have so many questions, so I'm ready for you.
Okay, yeah, I'll get that.
Finish.
Okay, so Fabrice's body was found the next morning. Among the dozen of pieces of evidence collected at the scene was a warranty card for a Citizens Band radio. KBI agents who were already suspicious of Nemechek checked to see whether any of the evidence linked him to killing Fabrice's. They hit pay dirt. They couldn't find anything. There was nothing there. In addition, several people said that they had seen Nemechek's truck at the reservoir on the way to Castle Rock on the day Fabrice died. So a lot of people said that they seen his vehicle and knew that everyone was suspicious of him at this point. They're like, he has to have something to do with it. We knew they knew that the evidence could convict him, and we didn't want to take any chances that he would kill again. The KBI supervisor, published in 1990, described that Nemechek's probe as one of the finest examples of investigative and laboratory work in the Bureau's history. So if you think about it, I mean, this was back in 1974 through 1976. So I don't even know how much DNA and all that kind of stuff that they had available at that point, like testing wise. And so in October of 1976, Nemechek confessed to investigators that he had killed those women. He pleaded innocent by the reason of insanity. What? I'm sorry, but what? That blew my mind. I mean, of course, anybody and everyone's gonna plead not guilty for insanity because they think that they won't have to go to prison, they won't get the death sentence, whatever. And he went to trial in February 1977 for the slaying of the 4 women and for Guy Young, the little boy. Though the murders were committed in 4 different counties, the cases were combined. The trial was moved to Salina on a change of venue order after a judge ruled Nemechek couldn't get a fair trial in Waukene. Which is smart. I mean, you typically don't see, if something happens in Gove County, you typically don't see trial or court happening in Gove County. It's typically going to be in a different county where there's different people. Okay, this is crazy. So a psychiatrist said that Nemechek liked to dress in women's clothing in his late teens and seemed undecided about whether he would like to be a man in a world where he felt he couldn't compete, or a woman. He said Nemechek became psychotic when the women reacted to him negatively before he killed them. So like we said, it's like, I think you almost wonder if these women wouldn't have been negative towards him if he would have just raped him and let him go. Mm-hmm. But they pissed him off.
But what did poor Paula do? Like, she was just sitting there and he got her.
I know, but remember she hit him over the head with a rock after he raped her.
Oh, that's true.
So she hit him over the head with a rock after he raped her, and that pissed him off. So he's like, all right, well, you pissed me off. Now you're done. And she threatened him and said that my dad will get you. My dad will find you and he will get you. So it's like the threatening, the rudeness, and everything along those lines were like triggers for him.
So it kind of is like, what was their marriage like?
I know. I wonder what their marriage... I wonder if... I know. I want to know.
It's almost like, was she the dominant in their relationship? And was she the one that was...
Yeah.
It's hard to know because you don't know.
And then I wonder... like it said, like, he kind of wondered, did he want to be a female or a male? Mm-hmm. You know, it kind of makes you wonder if... him wanting to not knowing if he wanted to be a male or a female, if he reacted out because of that as well. Mm-hmm. Because he couldn't be a female. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, back then, no, you don't have those transformations. You don't do that kind of stuff. And so it makes you wonder if, like, these women, he was jealous or envious of these women. And so those are all some good thoughts there. After nearly 4 hours of deliberation, a jury found Nemechek guilty of all 5 counts of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to 5 life prison terms. In another confession soon afterwards, Nemechek told Scott and 2 other law enforcement officers further details of the killings, admitting he had shot out a tire of the car carrying Lavette and Cheryl Young before killing them, which we knew. In March of 1977, Nemechek insisted in media interviews that he had changed. He said that after years of not accepting religion, he had found God. Nemechek said his favorite reading materials were the Bible and Hot Rod magazines. He said he believed God meant for him to help other prisoners. That's really interesting to me. But in my opinion, I feel like all of them, like any serial killer, any person that murders someone will say that they have changed. Like God has, forgiven them. Like God is within them now and they are these better people, which is sad because there's literally people that do find God. And it's like, you just wonder if that was true for him.
And Bruce. Well, look at Ed Kemper. He's a great case of that. He fooled everyone.
Yeah, I know. Like, he 100% fooled everyone, which is one that I cannot wait.
I know. That one's going to be a really good one.
That one's going to have to be one that me and Nicole both have to do investigating on because that's going to be a long one.
He's an impressive man.
Yep. Okay, so basically the aftermath of everything. So we kind of went over, his victims, which the first, just for anybody that has jumped on, his first victims were Diane Lavette, Cheryl Young, and Diane's son, Guy, who was just 3 years old. He had shot their tire out, abducted them, took them to an old farmhouse right there near Hill City, Kansas. And he raped one of them that we know of and shot them both. And then he abandoned the little boy, who then was later found froze to death. And then the next one was Cheryl Young, and she was one that had been out visiting. She came back from college, visiting her parents in Hayes, and she was out riding her bike in the country and had came upon Donald, and he had been out going to the bathroom by his truck and exposed himself to her, and she kind of went off on him, and that upset him, and so he grabbed her, and he was unarmed at the time, and he took her to a this is the one he took to the Cedar Bluff, and he raped and stabbed her. He killed her with a knife. And then the last one was Paula Bridges. She was 16. She was a cheerleader. She was a rangerette at Cedar Bluff. He went up to her door, abducted her, he took her out to a place where his dad, some land that his dad owned, machine shed where his dad owned, that was close to Castle Rock. And hi Amanda, and the shed was actually locked, and so he took her to Castle Rock where he raped her, and she actually got a rock and hit him over the head and threatened him and said, "My dad will find you." And unfortunately, that triggered him again, and he ended up getting a knife and stabbing her several times and throwing her nude body off of a bluff at Castle Rock. So those were his 5 victims, and right here is the picture of when he was arrested, which how they found out that it was him is there was a thumbprint on his CB radio warranty card, and it was his. So that's kind of how and then like on August 24th, KBI questioned Nemechek, and he admitted that he had talked to Bridges that day, and she was seen alive, and that he had bought a new CB radio that day. Nemechek was quickly jailed in connections with the murder. And then up here, which is really, really cool, is where this is like the areas of where he did it. So the first one was in December of 1974, where the 2 women where he shot out the tires of the 2 women in Graham County. and the little child was left to freeze. And so, I mean, I don't know how well you can see that up here, but you can see right here is where,
nook.
Yeah, it's like just kind of like right up here is where he left them, and the little boy was left to freeze. And then in Ellis County is when he had abducted the girl in Hayes in central Ellis County and took her southeast of Trigo and stabbed her to death. And so like I said, this one is kind of like right there. And then the third one was in August of 1976. This is the 16-year-old Paula Fabriches. He abducted her in Trigo County, but then took her to Gove County, stabbed her to death, and then threw her body off of Castle Rock. And so I thought this was really cool. I was really excited when I found that because it was a really cool representation of like how close everything was. And it's weird because I really didn't realize it was in that many different counties. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was really, really cool that they had that. And so, okay.
Is that him today?
That is him. Yes. That is him today. And
many of you queer people remember a couple years ago?
Okay. So in 1977, sorry guys. So he was put in jail in 1977, and then every 10 years he's up for parole. And just in 2017, which is when I actually started doing a lot of research on him, he was up for parole again. And there was a petition going around for everyone to sign for him to stay in jail. For him to be denied parole.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
It was everywhere. I signed it. Everyone signed it. So I'm going to read you. I actually got this little clip offline, so I'm going to read it to you. It says, a Kansas man serving consecutive life sentences for murders of 5 people, including a Fort Madison woman in 1974, was again denied parole by the Kansas State Parole Board. Francis Donald Nemechek, 67, which would be the picture right up there in that corner, was convicted of killing 5 people. He appeared before the parole board last month. A board spokesman said Friday the board rejected Nemechek's parole request after he appeared before them to seek his release. The board announced its decision Friday. His next eligibility for parole will be in 2027. So I know that seems like it's so long away, but it'll be here before you know it. And expect another petition. Expect us to be covering it. Expect us to be passing a petition around. I mean, it's just so sad. So I got this was posted in August 4th of 2017. He was 66 then, so he's probably about 68 now. Mm-hmm. And so like that picture right there is the most recent photo that I could find of him. But I found it extremely interesting, like his MO, like he obviously, like, I don't really know what his mindset was. Did he, like, obviously it triggered him when women were rude, when women were mean to him, which makes you kind of just wonder if him and his ex-wife didn't have a really, really rough marriage. But also, like, his MO was obviously the rape. Like, he really, really just wanted to rape these women. And I don't...
Hey, Erin. He is currently located in El Dorado prison and typically shows no remorse.
Yeah, see, the last thing
that was my question. Where was he in prison at?
Yeah, well, okay, so the last thing that I seen is that he was in Lansing. So if he's in El Dorado... Yeah, I'll have to... I wonder if you can look him up.
Already got it going. Kansas Department of Corrections. You can look up any person in Kansas that was in prison.
Get it, girl.
I learned that in my criminal justice class. Thank you, Melissa.
Good job. Keep
Ms.
going.
Stevens, she's the bomb.
Yeah, keep going. So it's just like,
well, they're working on the site, so just kidding.
Dang it.
Just kidding.
Can you not just go to El Dorado's site?
You probably could.
Okay. Let me see.
I got it. El Dorado Correctional Facility.
Go to it. Let's see if we can find him, guys.
That's interesting.
He's in... I know. We're taking notes. Guys, I know. This one, it's Lansing. Oh, he is in Lansing. Okay, that's what I thought. My computer, like, froze or something, so that's fun.
I don't see it online, but...
Oh, I don't know.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Okay, so if he's not in El Dorado, then I'm not going to be able to find him in El Dorado.
It's Lansing.
Lansing Correctional Facility.
Yeah, there we go. What is up with my computer? It's...
Okay. Well, we're researching this. BTK is in El Dorado. Yeah, I know he is.
Woo!
He's gonna be another good one.
He's my... Okay, I'm not gonna lie. BTK is probably my fave.
A lot of people thought that.
I know.
We
I
were
loved all
covering
your guys'
BTK.
guesses about BTK.
Yes.
He is like one of my all-time faves, and I really wanted to go over him, but I really wanted to do Nemechek to kind of... I don't know. And like...
Because he's very local.
Yeah. And like I said, like, we are going to be so much more prepared, and we should have been way more prepared for this one. But, like, life literally happened, and I had to go pick my husband up in Colby, literally right before we started. And so I literally got home at 3 o'clock, showered, got ready, and it's been a mess since.
Okay, I do have quite a few more things for you.
Yes, go ahead. What's up?
Because it's not loading. Okay. So, obviously, we got that one. We had a question that asked why he was not listed as a Kansas murderer or serial killer. Like, as a serial killer. So I looked into it, and serial killers are people that murder, to be classified as a serial killer, murder more than 3 people and more than just once a month, like, over a spread of time.
Yes.
There's different classifications of serial killers, like there's spree serial killers. There's like Ed Kemper, he's going to be one of those that are very thought out.
I love me some Ed Kemper.
Yes, I do. I love
He's
him
a
too.
good one.
That always have a signature. You'll know, like, a serial killer, like, they always do, like, okay, I'm going to refer to Ed Kemper because he is such a good one.
He is, and it's so weird.
He always... I'm gonna get truth to you guys. If you are crime obsessed, so you're not gonna be squeamish. How he cut the heads off of his victims and
literally had sex
with their heads. I just watched. If you watch Mindhunters, it's a really good TV show.
Yes, watch Mindhunters. You have to watch Mindhunters. It's so good.
Chills when he was telling the FBI agent about what it took
and
to
he's
have
so
sex with
upfront.
He is very. That's what he makes him the most interesting serial killer.
Yes.
But
he's
he's just like
upfront.
a very good one to talk about, to classify, because he's very well thought out. He had the perfect MO. Like, he did the exact repeatably thing to each one. As for Francis, he
really just...
The raping is pretty much, but they don't know if he did rape the other girl
Women.
in the little boy. So he didn't have the same MO on every single one. Mindhunter, yes,
Amanda.
I finished it, so my life is boring.
And to be honest, you finished it.
Yeah.
We aren't even done. We're binging it. Austin and I are binging it this weekend.
Yeah,
while
it's
he's
been 2
home.
days.
So, Mindhunter is based off of all true, because it actually covers BTK, and a lot of it is about BTK. And so, check out Mindhunter.
So I think that's why he's not classified as a serial killer.
Yeah, I think
he's
so
not
too.
very famous because it's Gulf County.
He literally isn't, and like that's literally what I struggled with. This is the only research that I had. This is all I could find on him, and it was so hard because I struggled because I'm like, I need more. I want more. It was really, really hard to find more on him. Watch Cold Case File on Netflix. Yes.
Also, so I have a few more questions. This is up for debate. If you guys have input, comments, let us know, and we will discuss it with you.
If you have questions, comment.
Things that, like, open controversies that they have right now with serial killers were they born this way, or was it their child, like, an upbringing that made them this way? There's so many ones. Who was it? Is it...
I truly believe BTK was born as a serial killer.
Who was it that said that their mom took a fall while she was pregnant?
BTK.
It was BTK. And he thought that is what made him a serial killer.
His mom fell off a horse when
Yes.
when she was like 8 months pregnant with him. And then when he was born, she dropped him on his head.
And he thought this is what made
caused him to be a serial killer.
And
I
brain damage.
truly 100% believe that he was born a serial killer because he, like, when we go over him, like, it started so young for him. Like, it's ridiculous how young he started being a serial, like, how young he started fantasizing about women and, like, having them bondaged and everything like that.
Then you have other serial killers
Yeah.
that say that it was their upbringing, that they hated their moms. Their
Ed
moms
Kemper.
their moms made them do this.
Yeah.
Or just like other, like, who is it? Ridgway? Ridgway kills street prostitutes because of his dad coming home and talking about the street prostitutes because he was a bus driver. And he did have some built up pretension towards his mother.
Yeah.
Like a sexual fantasy about his mother,
Yeah.
which
Oh, that one was
kind
so
of
weird.
Yes. So it's hard. What is your guys' thoughts? Do you think that they're born this way, or are they upbringing? I do believe that it could be both ways, but it's talked about. Like,
Ed Kemper's, the thing with Ed Kemper is definitely it was his upbringing. So I think that there's two different, so like BTK was born. Like
You don't think Ed Kemper could have been born that
I
way?
don't think so because his mom, remember?
I know.
His mom was so mean to him.
She was messed.
She was messed up lady. She was so mean, and he literally did anything and everything possible to not have to live with her. And it's a long
Dawn
one.
did have some MO based on stabbing, and the boy would be deemed a victim by chance, and he was not truly the victim. I cannot read. We ran out of that.
Yeah.
By stabbing, but victim of choice.
I was gonna look it up on my computer.
It's hard telling why they don't have him as a serial killer.
I know.
That was just thoughts. There we go.
There we go.
It's hard telling why they don't have him listed as a serial killer. Because he did pass qualifications.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is with his first victims, he didn't stab them. It was shootings. He shot them. He shot his first victims.
It was different.
And then his last two victims, it's not like, it's kind of different because, like, BTK set out to murder. And I don't know if Don did because
It could have just been,
oh, look, there's someone there. Like, because BTK...
He had built up frustration with his ex-wife. Maybe he's like, okay, I'm going to commit a murder. I need to take out this frustration.
Well, and BTK always had his kill kit.
Yeah, he would stalk them.
Yeah, he would stalk them so he knew when was the best time to get them.
I
feel like Dawn just was like, I'm going to go... Yeah,
he was like an in-moment killer.
Yeah, in-moment killer. BTK was thought out. He knew what he needed to do. He knew when he needed to do it, and he knew how he needed to do it. Like, it's crazy, the amount of...
It's hard telling, because there's other serial killers that are just like, they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's
100%.
Yep.
Like...
It's hard.
It's a matter of perfect storm of mental genetics plus environmental. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that BTK was born because of his history. Like, just he even admits, growing up that he like in interviews and stuff, he even admits, like, he's like, I started strangling my cats. I started strangling animals at such a young age because that's like, I mean, he just fantasized about it, and he was obsessed with serial killers. And then Ed Kemper, you know, his mom caused him to be outraged.
Yeah.
And caused him, and even his grandma, because he went and lived with his grandparents for a while because
women authorities,
and how they talked to him and how they overpowered him triggered him.
Oh, I would love to be in a room with Ed Kemper.
So literally, he is like the coolest serial killer. Marsha, no, but I'm getting the book. I have someone local here in town that has. Are you talking about the one about his daughter? The one that a serial killer's daughter? I'm getting ready to get that. I have somebody here local in town that has it for me. I just need to go pick it up. And so I'm really excited to go over that one. I know a lot about BTK, And there's actually some people that know that knew BTK's family, which is like completely like wild to me. Okay, what's next?
Next question. Your phone. No, there is one. Ooh, there's another one. Okay.
Oh!
So the next...
Marsha, send me the link on it. I want to know what it is. I want to look into it.
That daughter's book now, too.
Who said that?
Marsha. Another good one to bring up.
It's on Amazon, girl.
With why he raped the women. You know, some serial killers do it because they can't get off.
They can't perform.
And so, like, they can't perform. Trouble performing. And so, the raping the ladies is probably his way of getting off. Like, he needs the fight. He needs the struggle to help him get off.
Yeah, I agree.
Could that be why he...
I 100% wonder. And I also wonder if, like, his...
What? Yeah. It's hard knowing, not without knowing what
yes.
his life was with his... Rage. Trust it.
Okay, so guys, we promised that next week so actually we're super excited because we're actually gonna, I live on Amazon, don't encourage Marja. Oh my gosh, enter my code.
What's your code?
178239. 8239.
Okay.
Sorry guys, we're back. So in my basement, I have a big storage room, and we're actually gonna block it off, and we're gonna have our office in there.
We're gonna need it for this next case.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. We're gonna have
prepare for like at least an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Yes.
Because we will always have an open discussion after we go over a case.
And
it's a big one.
And next week's case, I mean, this week's case was like I said, it was a hard one because we really didn't have a lot of information on him besides who his victims were and what he did. We don't know a lot on him, and that's one thing I struggled with. But I wanted to go over it. I wanted something simple for our first one. What?
I have a question for you.
Oh God, what?
Would you ever go see Francis Nemechek in prison and ask him? Would you be able to sit across the table and ask him why he did what he did?
Yes, as long as there's a guard in the room.
Ask him about his... I would love to know... So we know who he killed, but I would love to know more about his childhood.
I want to know why.
His relationship with his wife.
I want to know why. That's what I want to know. I want to know why. Why did you do it? Because you don't just wake up one morning and I'm going to go kill someone. Like, he had to have a reason. I know, Marsha. Let's do it. Let's go together. So Nicole and I actually there's another kind, not really local one, but we're actually gonna go to it.
We will be going to a
location,
another case in Kansas. Not going to let you guys know where it's at. And we will actually try to interview the people from the town. We will try to get as much information. We'll be taking pictures and everything.
We can write a letter. Let's send him a letter, Nicole. Let's pen pal him. So, I do know
I want to be pen pals with Ed Kemper.
I do too. Oh my, is Ed Kemper even still alive?
Oh, that's a good one.
Let's Google it.
Well, he would be probably around our age, wouldn't he?
Let's see.
Because he was born in 48.
Mugshot of him in 1973. The co-ed killer.
If they don't have a death date, he's still alive.
Date apprehended.
He's still alive.
Ooh, he's so tall.
He's 6'9". Can you tell our fascination with him? He's just watch Mindhunter. You'll become obsessed with him too. Listen to his case on serial killers or crime junkies. Like
serial killers was really good.
Yes, it's really good. That's what we listen to. This is what made us.
Where's co-ed killer Ed Kemper now? Let's see. Where is Ed Kemper now?
There he is. I love Ed Kemper.
I just love hearing him.
Over here.
I know. I just love hearing him.
He's just so direct.
And he's 250 pounds. Okay, did it not freak you out in Mindhunters when the kid goes to see him when he's in the hospital?
Oh my god.
And he has that episode.
He hugs him.
That freaked me out.
Freaked
me out. I want to know if he's still alive.
Yes,
we'll know.
okay.
We'll know. I promise. We'll know.
We have our page up and running, our email. Email us what you guys think about. Give us some referrals.
Yeah, I promise. Do not be too
reviews.
harsh on us this time because it was rough. It was rough, and I know it was rough. I'm super nervous. I was super nervous. I have done lives so much. Nicole does lives, but we were super nervous about it, and we'll get better.
We'll get over our first one too.
Yeah.
But let us know what you guys think, how this is going. Next week we will be doing more. I'm super excited to continue this because it's so hard. There's so many good cases. Like we're like, which one do we do next? I think we should just get a hat and pull them. We'll just put them in a hat.
Yes, and don't forget to suggest a case. Guys, I'm not even kidding you. Go to our page.
I've had so many people come up to me and say, oh, do this one. Email it to us. Suggest a case. Put it on our thing. Let us know, and we can do that.
And I'm going to post our...
Page 19, not 10. But yes, we already obviously have some lined up.
I'm going to post our website so that you guys can find it, but literally all you have to do is click suggest a case.
And it goes straight to our email.
And you just have to fill this out and it goes straight to our email. It's so simple, and you don't have to put your name in if you don't want to. It's totally optional. But if you do put your name in and if it's like, okay, so let me put it this way. If you don't want your name if you don't want us to refer to you why we chose our case, don't put your name. Yeah. If you want us to say your name, put your name. So
if you know a lot about this case, like
send
if
us
it's
links.
Something you have done and you have researched extensively.
If you want to be a guest.
If you want to be a guest on our
page,
live,
yeah,
you can. We will do that. We will have you here and you can tell us what we know, and then it'll be an even bigger open discussion because we won't do the research. We'll do parts of it.
Yeah.
But we will want to hear it from you.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, we're stoked about this.
You just tell us like your parts that you know the best, and we can do the rest.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. We're so excited, guys. So excited. So,
say my name. Say my name.
Yes, Marsha. Yes, girlfriend.
Marsha.
She needs to be a guest on here. We just need to go to you and go to you because you do have a new baby. So we might have to come to you.
She in Kansas City?
No, she's in Hayes.
She's in Hayes?
Mm-hmm.
We can totally come to you.
We can come to you.
I'm there every Wednesday.
Marsha, we can come to you. Hi, Hannah. You just missed it. We just finished. But you guys, please...
support y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we're just starting.
We do hope to have some sponsors eventually. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we're gonna have our merchandise soon. We are gonna be doing a giveaway for one of our shirts. Mm-hmm. Eventually too, probably in the next week or two. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll get to win one of our shirts. And
we do have a lot of cool things.
We do have a lot of cool stuff lined up.
We're going to do Trivia Thursdays.
We do
Missing Monday. At the end of the month, after we go over some cases, we will have a bunch of trivia questions popping up. And whoever can answer them right, the first one to get it right, will be entered into a draw.
Right. Yes. So each day we'll have it'll be really cool.
So all day Thursday
we'll have different trivia
questions.
And it'll be over cases that we went over.
Yeah,
so make sure that you watch our cases, study our cases, do your own research. If you do your own research and you're like, hey, did you know this? You didn't say it. Send it to us. And you can email us. Yes. Our email is also on our website. It's crimeobsessed19@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Let us know what you think. Give us some pointers of what we need to work on. Like I said, I know we need to work on, we literally have cards. I promise.
We came out with cards. We have notebooks.
Cards.
I forgot mine. I was in a hurry to get over here.
I have cards, and I was supposed to write all my stuff on these cards, but life got crazy. I didn't get a chance to. And so next week, Nicole is doing her research. She's going to be way more prepared than me. And then the next week, it's back to both of us, I think.
Yeah, we're doing it both.
We're doing a duo.
We're doing a duo.
We're doing a duo one. That one's fun. And stay tuned. Make sure you watch our page because we post every day something different. I'm going to be posting our website, and then Nicole will start posting her hints for who she's doing.
Yep, tomorrow.
It's going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be so good.
Yes.
So stay tuned. I think we're gonna try to maybe work on our office a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna try to work on it tonight.
Hopefully, if the babies are okay with their daddy.
Yeah.
If he's not like, where are you?
Yeah, that's why I have to have my phone, as many of you know.
Yes.
I have a special needs son, so my phone is stuck to me. If I get a call from whoever's taking care of him, I will be stepping out.
Yes, and I will always be able to.
Yes.
You girls are kind of crazy. Thanks, Laura. We love it,
We
though.
love it. Oh, let's tell them about the snake. Okay, so we're trying to take pictures at
It was
Castle
terrifying.
Rock, and I'm over here trying to get a picture of her, and Harper starts screaming, "Snake!"
It was
And
terrifying.
I can't see. I'm calm as a freaking butterfly. Like, what?
I'm like, nope, not me. I'm out of here. And
She's like, move, move, move. I'm like, do we need to climb up, or can we take this little? We're at the spot where you can take like a little tunnel, and I didn't know which way it's coming up. I'm like, do I need to go up, or if I take this tunnel, will it jump on me? Like, I didn't know what to go on. They're like, move, move, move. Take the tunnel.
in my defense, I would have never led her down a dark path.
So I didn't know what
I wasn't gonna be like, go! You're gonna get eaten!
I'm just like, where is it?
I
They're like,
wa-
it's over there. And so what do? I climb up to see if I can see it. And she's like, no, go, run.
And then she's like, well, where is it? And I'm like, it went in that hole. It was disgusting. I about vomited. Harper was freaking out.
She was like, I can't.
I about vomited.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm out of here.
laughing.
Hey, but funny story, my mom refused to take us out to Castle Rock because when we were kids, we were out there with a friend of my mom's that came back from California, and my sister and I and my friend Danny, we had been running through pictures. Yeah, Laura, so we took pictures out there the other day in our crime obsessed shirts. Look at them. They're on our
page.
site. We'll post more too.
Yep.
We have more.
Yeah, we have tons.
And we're actually gonna get professional done of me and Nicole because Harper took our duo, our couple once, and
Harper tried. She tried.
She tried. It was hard. In her defense, it is
There
hard.
was that really good one of
There
us
was.
standing on the road.
There was, and then that one of us looking away was really
Yeah,
good
that was
too.
a really good one too.
So we are gonna get our professional ones.
Of the snake. No, are you
Oh
kidding
God,
me?
no! We didn't have time.
They didn't have time. I probably would have got pictures. Okay, let me tell you. I
Harper's
asked him how big it was. You guys ready for this? It was apparently this big and this long from there. I was like, no. Are you like? Is it a python?
No,
That's
not what I said.
Big.
That's not what I said. I said it was like this big, and it was Nicole was like, what was it? Like a garter snake? And I'm like, it was either a bull or a rattler. I don't know which one it was, but we were at its home, and it did not like us. So we ran.
You should have called, and I could have zipped over four-wheeling. Yes.
Yeah, Laura, we should have called. But see, okay, but you know what even scared me the most is when we were leaving, somebody was pulling in.
Yeah, and she's like, oh.
And then when we left, the person was right behind us.
They probably were just doing a...
I don't know. I'm very skeptical. Do not ever think that somebody is normal. Because they're probably not.
We're going to be coming out with a how not to get killed list too.
How not to get killed.
Yep.
How not to get killed. Love that. Let's write that down. How not to get killed.
We could probably do how to get away with murder too. You can learn a lot from Ed Kemper. He's going to be a good one. They would have never caught him. He turned himself in.
Yeah, he literally was so pissed that they didn't know about it that he turned himself in, kind of like BTK. Yeah. BTK basically turned himself in as well.
Okay.
So
we pretty much,
Yeah, we need to get off of here because we have some other stuff we need to get done. Like I said, I apologize for my scatterbrainness. We will, like I said, we're going to work really hard on making sure that these next several episodes are really, really good. Did they flash you? If not, you are good. No, but I felt like it.
It was a guy with his little girl.
That's scary.
It was a father taking his daughter.
I don't know. I don't know. It was a little nerve-wracking. I know. We're nuts, guys. We're crazy.
I am so skeptical of that place, though, because I am like, am I going to die when I come here?
I know. Okay, but I do also want to start something called Wanted Wednesday. So people that are still wanted.
Yes, that's
for
a good
killing
one.
something. I like Wanted Wednesday, but we kind of just need to stick to missing Mondays, and then our trivia one at the end of the month. Yeah. So guys,
we have big plans.
See, you were safe. Oh, I don't know about
We
that.
were in a pickup driving.
We had our doors locked tight, and I was like, just go.
kidding. Driver's side
Okay,
doesn't
maybe
lock.
I need to put cameras out there.
Yes.
Do it. Yes, Martha. Do it, Laura. Put some cameras
Well,
out
maybe
there.
not because we were changing into different outfits.
Yeah, don't do that
No,
because
don't do
we were changing at some one point in time out in the public. So please don't do that. We'll just warn you when we're coming and we'll have you turn them off.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Okay.
We are gonna hop off. Thank you so much for joining us today for our first episode of Crime Obsessed. Once again, I'm Allie Heyer, your host,
And I'm Nicole Wolf, the other host.
and we are so excited for next week. Make sure you watch our page as we promote more things, and we hope to see you next week.
We will see you next week with a whole lot more crazy.
Yes,
Have a
bye.
great week. So you were the Flashers. Yes, we were the Flashers.
100%. Okay, bye guys. Thank you.